A very fine and pleasant morning to all my dear students. Today we are going to see the unit 1, the same unit, that is already we had seen prose, poetry, that is learning the game we completed. Yes, yes, poem stopping by woods on a snowy evening, that is also over. Today we are going to you are going to learn supplementary, that is a nice story, envious neighbor. So who is envious? Have you heard about envious, children? What is envious? Envious, the meaning for envious is jealous. You know what is the meaning of jealous, isn't it? Yes. So what happened? You know what is the meaning of neighbor, isn't it? Yes, the person who resides near our house. Yes, our neighbors. So, envious neighbor. This is a very nice story, a real story, and you don't have author for this lesson, children. This is anonymous, a real story. I have taken a small. It is had taken from a small tale. I have taken a Japanese folk tale. Tale means story. It is not tale. It is tale. Okay. Before going to the lesson, yes, you all have neighbors, isn't it, children? Yes, all have neighbors, and we are also neighbors to others. Yes. So, how you have to behave. So, it is teaching the honest and dishonest person how we have to behave in our life. So, how you should not behave. That and all, everything is given in this lesson very detailedly. Today, we are going to see only 1.5 pages. 1, 22 and 23 pages only. I am going to take not the whole lesson, and the second part will be taken in the next session. Okay. So, what happened here? So, the envious neighbor warm up is given here. What is that warm up? Discuss the following, it is given, isn't it? Yes. So, what is that? Discuss the following. They have given us 3 points. It is given. What is it is asked? Yes. Ratan Tata and Ajim Premji are a few rich people of India who spent a part of their wealth on charity. What influenced them to share and care for others? So it is telling about the two persons who were very rich, not where they are now. Also they are rich people. They always very rich, but they always do something. They spend a part, whatever they earn. No, they will share some part to the charity. On charity they will be. So what motivated them to do that? That was the question asked. If you have enough money, if you have wealthy, what we have to do? We have to give a needy person. Yes, we have to help the poor. So if you have really much, so whatever we have to do, we have to give to the person who is in need. Yes. The second question is given, that is, think of any undesirable quality that you would like to get rid of and discuss it with your friends. So this is a question. If you all were in person, definitely I might have asked you. We will discuss in a Zoom session. Okay. So what was your undesirable quality, that is that you would like to get rid of? So எப்படி வெளியில வர்றது, how you have to get rid of that undesired quality. So that is given, discussed with your friends, it was given. Okay. And what is the third question? Do you like pets? Why? If yes means why, what is the question? So how many of you have pets at home? Like that and all questions will be asked. Okay. So this lesson is related to the pet. So what happened? Let's see. Shall we go to this lesson, children? Yes. So you are not here. So you are definitely, I think all will be listening. Okay, let me read the first paragraph. Before that, a very small gist is given in red color. What was that? Yes. Now, read the Japanese folk tale about two neighbors and how their character changed their lives. So, what happened? So, this is a real story, Japanese folk tale it was. So, two neighbors were living and how their character changed their lives. So, that was the lesson is about. So, there were two neighbors, okay, residing, and what was the differentiate between the two neighbors? What happened and how they changed their character? Let me start read the first paragraph, children. This is the first paragraph. In the old days, there lived an honest man with his wife who had a pet dog, which they used to feed with fish and tidbit from their own kitchen. One day, as the old folks went out to work in their garden, the dog went with them and began playing about. All of a sudden, the dog stopped short and began to bark. Bow, wow, wow, wagging his tail violently. So, what happened? Yes, there lived a couple, husband and a wife. He was very honest. Honest na enna, the person who never cheat anyone, never tell lies, always be very truthful. True life he will lead. So, okay, he and his wife were living. So that time they had a pet dog. Okay, so they always used to feed the pet dog fishes and tidbit. What is the meaning of tidbit is given the glossary. You can see in page number 25, children. If you have textbook, you can just refer. Tidbit means a small piece of tasty food. So they always give fish and tasty food which they prepare from their kitchen and give to the pet. And after that, what happened? One day, wherever they go, no, they will take their pet with them. So one day they went to their garden itself, and the dog also always go with them and began playing about. So suddenly, what happened? The dog began to bark. What happened? And it began to bark very loudly and began to wag his tail. What is the meaning of wagging? Yes, it is shaking his tail. Okay, wag, வால் ஆட்டுறது அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க இல்லையா? Yeah, that is the wagging. Wagging is the exact meaning for glossary is in page number 25, children. Those who have textbook can see. I'll read the wagging. Moving or causing to move rapidly to and fro. So to and fro na vaala aattudu. Yes, the dog was violently barking. Suddenly it was barking and wagging his tail. So what happened? Yes, in the next paragraph, the old people thought that there must be something nice to eat underground. So they brought a spade and began digging. When, lo and behold, the place was full of gold pieces and silver and all sorts of precious things which had been buried there. So, what happened? Yes, let me read that paragraph also. That is only 4 lines. So, they gathered the treasure and, after giving alms to the poor, bought themselves a rich fields and cornfields and began wealthy people. So before that, the old couple was not rich. Okay, but they were very honest person. So suddenly the dog began to bark. They thought actually the dog had got something to eat, something on the ground, inside the ground. They thought like that, and they thought, okay, let me dig and give to my dog. Like that they thought, and they brought a spade. ஸ்பேடுனா என்னம்மா தமிழில் மண்வெட்டியா மண்வெட்டியோ கோடாலியோ ஏதோ சொல்லுவாங்க. எஸ், spade. Yes, and began to dig. They began to dig. Okay, after digging, no, they were very surprised because they got what? Yes, full of silver, gold, and every precious things they got inside their garden. So which they had buried there. Someone had buried there, and they got it, and no one is taking in charge of that, and no one's அது யாருதுமே இல்லை ஆக்சுவலி. ரொம்ப வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி it was buried. So they gathered all the things, treasure, புதையல்னு சொல்லுவாங்க இல்லையா? Yes, they gathered that, and they not only they kept themselves, they given to the poor people so many things, and they helped poor people, and they bought rice fields. Rice fields வாங்கின, corn fields, and they began wealthy people. Okay, after that what happened? They began wealthy people. Yes, in the next paragraph, now in the neighboring house there dwelt a covetous and stingy old couple who, when they heard what they had happened, came and borrowed the dog, and having taken him home, prepared a great feast for him, and said, if you please, Mr. Dog, we should be obliged if you would show us a place with plenty of money in it. Yes. So what happened in the next paragraph? So I said, no, the 2 neighbors were there. Yes. One was very honest, and another couple was old couple only, they were very dishonest people. Okay, so they were jealous also. So once they heard about the person, that is neighbor, honest couple, got so much of gold and all the precious things, they thought, okay, let me go and borrow the dog first, because dog only found out that. So they went and asked the old, very covetous, the meaning for covetous is given here, that is having or showing a great desire to process something belong to someone else. That is, someone's, they know that that belongs definitely not to them, but they will go and ask to other people. And stingy means ரொம்ப கஞ்சம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. Okay, they will never give anything to any people. Okay, so what happened? They went to the that honest couple கிட்ட போயிட்டு what they asked for the dog, and they given. Okay, they not hesitated, they given the dog to the jealous neighbors, the next house. Yes, so what happened? They after taken the dog to their home, what happened, ma? Yes, they prepared a very nice feast for him, and they told, okay, you have this, and you just tell me where are the yes, all money and plenty of things, everything, wherever it was buried, please show that to us. Like that they told to whom? To the pet dog. Yes, after that what happened? The dog, however, obliged, meaning is obliged, that is someone legally or morally bound to do something, please, that is asking. Yes, okay. The dog, however, who up that time had received nothing but cuffs and kicks. So what happened after that? Yes, I will tell you, that is given in the next paragraph. Is next page you have, from his host would not eat any of the dainties which they set before him. So the old people began to get cross, and putting a rope around the dog's neck, and led him out into the garden. But it was all in vain. He left them, lead him where they might. Not a sound would go the dog utter. They had no bow for them. At last, however, the dog stopped at a certain spot and began to sniff. So what happened here? Yes, what happened? Yes, the dog only received uh, kicks and cuffs from their host. That is, the old people, no, they thought definitely the dog will show them also the thing, that is the plenty of place where the treasures are buried, like that they thought, and they told him to go. But what happened? It சூப்பராக நல்ல ஃபீஸ்டெல்லாம் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணாங்க இல்லையா, but the dog, no, it did not eat anything, would not eat any of the dainties which set before him. He didn't like to eat, because the dog always belongs to the person who is very loud person. So the dog not even eat one single food also from the thing whatever served to him. Yes, so the old people began to get cross. So what they done? They began very angry, and they began to tie a rope on around the dog's neck. So dog oda neckla tight they tied a rope, and they just dragged him into the garden, and they told that, okay, so just come and show where the valuable things are buried, like that they dragged him. But it not at all moving anywhere. The dog is not at all moving, because it's not liking to move anywhere. Okay, but what happened? He led them where the not sound would good. Oh, the dog is not at all uttering any sound, just keeping quiet and moving along with them. Suddenly he had no bow for them. So what happened? So he is not at all doing any bow, and at last, however, the dog stopped at a certain and began to sniff. So what happened? Okay, at least they were dragging the dog and going, it never barked anything. So suddenly it stopped one place, because it was feeling very tired, and began to sniff. Okay, அதாவது பெருமூச்சு விடுதுன்னு சொல்லுவாங்களே, it began to sniff. So thinking that this must surely the lucky place, they dug and found nothing but a quantity of dirt and nasty offal, where over which they had to hold their noses. Furious at being disappointed, the wicked old couple seized the dog and killed him. Yes. So what happened? They were very, very rude and cruel people they were. Okay. So because it suddenly stopped one place and began to sniff, no, they thought this is the place where the treasures will be hidden, buried. Like that they thought, and they began to, the place where the dog stopped, they began to dig. Okay, so dig பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சோடனே they never got anything. they got only very dirt and அழுகி போன எல்லாமே இருந்துச்சாங்க. ரொம்ப பயங்கரமான ஒரு ஸ்மெல்லு, பயங்கரமான ஒரு நாத்தம் இல்லையா, பேட் ஸ்மெல் வாஸ் தேர். okay, so wherever they dug, no, full and full of dirt and nasty smell was there all over. ஸோ அவங்களால சகிச்சிக்கவே முடியல. த டாக் they just hold their nose, அந்த அந்த மூக்கை வந்து மூடிட்டாங்களாம். ஸோ ஆஃப்டர் தட் வாட் ஹேப்பன், they become very furious. ரொம்ப கோவம் வந்துருச்சு. after they become, what happened, they seizedனா they began to beat the dog severely. They beat the dog very severely, and the dog died, it seems. Immediately what happened, it was very very pet dog, no, it not even one day also it not heard any noise like the violent sound, and not even got any beatings from anyone. Once they seized, what happened, nalla இறந்துட்டு. okay, and the dog died. After that, in the next paragraph, when the good old man saw that the dog whom he had lent did not come home, he went next door to ask what had become of him. And wicked old man answered that he had killed the dog and buried him at the root of the pine tree. So the good fellow, with a heavy heart, went to the spot, and having set out of a tray with delicious food, he burnt incense and adorned the grave with flowers, as he had shed tears over his lost pet. So what happened? After they killed, they buried under the some tree. Okay, I'll tell you. After that, what happened? Immediately after so many days over. So the old couple thought, what happened? They had not returned my dog, like that they thought, and they went to the wicked, that is that jealous couple, and they just asked what happened to my dog. Old man asked. He didn't hide anything. Okay, the jealous couple, they said, we had killed him and buried him under the pine tree, root of a pine tree, like that they said. So after hearing, no, he felt very very heavy heart. Okay, he began to cry, and he not scolded anyone. After hearing that, he immediately went to the place where it was buried, and full of delicious food, whatever the pet used to eat, அதை சாப்பிட்டு ரொம்ப விரும்பி சாப்பிட்றது எல்லாமே வந்து அந்த ஃபுட்டை வந்து தே டேக்கன், அண்ட் ஃப்ளவர்ஸ் அண்ட் இன்சென்ஸ்னால் அந்த ஊதுபத்தி இல்லையா, ஊதுபத்தி, ஹி பர்ன்ட் இன்சென்ஸ் ஸ்டிக்ஸ் அண்ட் எவ்ரி திங், அண்ட் கிரேவ் ஃப்ளவர்ஸ். ஸோ அந்த கிரேவை வந்து ஃப்ளவர்ஸில் டெக்கரேட் பண்ணாங்க அந்த பைன் ட்ரீ அண்டர். ஆஸ் ஹி ஷெட் tears over his lost pet, so he began to lose the any confidence and everything like that. Okay, so after that, in next paragraph, what it was given, that night when the good old man was fast asleep in bed, the dog appeared to him, and after thanking him for all his kindness, said, cause the pine tree under I am buried to be cut down and made into a mortar, and use it, thinking as it were, if it were myself. So what happened? You can see the picture here, children. So the old man, after doing all the things to the dog, and he went to sleep. Okay, so you can see the picture there. You can see the picture here. The dog is appearing in his dream. The old man was sleeping, so he began, the dog is appeared, and this is the tree, pine tree. In this only it was grave, the dog was buried there. So the dog came in his dream and told that the tree must be cut and do that mortarனா எங்க பிக்சர் கூட இருக்கு இல்லையா, அந்த உரல் மாதிரி இருக்கிறது, அதை செய்ய சொல்கிறாங்க. அந்த ட்ரீயை விட்டுட்டு with the tree, just do the mortar and think that I am with you, do the mortar, like that the pet dog told. Okay, till here I'll stop for today, children, and we'll continue in the next class. Okay, thank you, children.